Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all another one of my Cardfight Vanguard collection videos. In the previous videos, we've done BT01 through BT17, the first series sets, and now, as promised in the previous video, we'll be moving on to the G series sets. So starting off, we're going to be going through series G-BT01 through G-BT04. I think there are 15 sets in total for this series, all revolving around stride support and a bunch of different other cards as well, including some of the Legion Revival cards. So let's go ahead and start off with the first set, G-BT01 Generation Stride. In this set, we had support for Gear Chronicle, Royal Paladin, Oracle Think Tank, Kagero, and Nova Grappler. So all basically the first sets that we had in BT01 receiving the majority of the support, with the addition of Gear Chronicle, since it was the main clan used by Chrono Shindo in the series. For the Generation Rare in the set, we received Interdimensional Dragon, Chronos Command Dragon. For other strides, for other clans, we had Holy Dragon, Saint Blow Dragon, Soul Deity of Thunderbreak, Taka Mikazuchi. And for grade 3s in the set, we had Susanoo and Victor. Royal Paladin and Gear Chronicle receiving their grade 3s for their own clans in the trial decks that were released with these sets, but still receiving the support in the form of Saint Blow and Ragnarok Dragon, along with Chronos Command for just additional support stride-wise that they didn't receive with the trial decks. Nova Grappler, Oracle Think Tank, and Kagero also receiving their first hollow strides in this set as well as some of the other cards, including grade 2 support for all the clans as well in this set, with Knight of Fragment, Diviner, Kurokuzachi, Twilight Arrow Dragon, and Cool Hank, all for the 4 other clans aside from Gear Chronicle. In this pack, we also received the Sentinels that would unflip damage. They start off these cards in this pack. So we received Holy Knight Guardian, Protect Orb Dragon, Amino Sagiri, and Lady Cyclone in this pack for those 4 clans. We also received some smaller support for Gear Chronicle in the form of Fate Wheel Dragon, Relic Master Dragon, and Steam Maiden Arlim was the unflip perfect guard for Gear Chronicle in this pack as well. For rare support, each clan also received a backup grade 3 in a way to work with all the other ones, trying to go for a full, G series support kind of clan with these series, and each one also received what I call stride fodder, grade 1s that could count as the entire cost for the stride. These were released in the booster packs, not in the trial decks, so each one had one released in this set for each of the clans respectively, and also a rare version of the stride was available in this set for the clans that did not receive a trial deck. So Oracle Think Tank received one, Royal Paladins did not, since they had one in the trial deck released for them. And we also had some other support in the form of just backup, grade 1s, and also new starters for each one of the clans that were also not receiving a trial deck from the first wave release. So this entailed for Oracle Think Tank, Kagero, and Nova Grappler. They also gave us some support for old clans as well. Risers receiving a couple cards that I believe were promos beforehand and then re-released in this set, just to be easier for others to receive. Steam Breath Dragon being the stride fodder for Gear Chronicle, and also Gear Chronicle receiving basically cards that other clans had already received in previous sets, including the Soul Blast 2 draw card for Steam Skara Gigi, and also the form of Legion and other cards, since they obviously didn't have that support in previous clans. And then the last rares always usually would be if there was a Cray Elemental in the pack, would be taken up by that spot here. And Cray Elementals were units that can be used by every single clan, so at least if they didn't have support in the beginning, they could still use strides if you wanted to play any of the clans that did not receive support yet in these packs. And then common support would basically just be smaller scale kind of grade 3s and 2s for additional support, and triggers for the clans that had them in these sets. Royal Paladin only receiving 2, while the other clans received a more amount, obviously, for the fact that they didn't have a trial deck. Battle Sisters also receiving some support in the form of Mewfuel for their first common, and then also just generic support in the form of 10k vanillas and also new 8k vanillas added on to these clans as well. And then also, it was started in the previous sets with Legion, but they were also receiving Limit Break enablers, were basically just grade 1s that assisted with Limit Break, not having to be at 4 damage. So Oracle Think Tank received one in this booster set, as well as the different triggers for them to use with this set also. Magus also receiving a trigger as well. Kagero, same treatment, 10k and also an 8k. As new versions compared to Nahal and Bar, which they had previously, as well as 4 new trigger units to use as well, along with the stand trigger, additionally for Kagero in this set. So basically plenty of support, each trigger line for each one. Same treatment went to Nova Grappler with their grade 1 and 10k previously, and the trigger lineup same for all of them as well in this pack. Gear Chronicle will receive a couple more cards in the common support as well, but would get the same treatment as Royal Paladin, only receiving 2 trigger units in this pack since they received a trial deck. And then on to G-BT02. This set introduced more support for the main 3 characters clans, which were Tokoha, Shion, and Chrono, so Gear Chronicle, Royal Paladin, and Neo Nectar, as well as introducing support for Great Nature, Aquaforce, and Narukami. This would also be the first pack that Neo Nectar would receive a good majority of the support for their clans, that being the case with Primavera being the generation rare for this clan in this set, and also following the same treatment as the trial deck, since there was a trial deck released for Aquaforce, Thavis in this case. There was no grade 3 for them in this set, but Narukami and Great Nature not having a grade 3 were given one in this set in the form of Big Belly and Vanquisher. Neo Nectar also received a trial deck, interesting enough, at the same time as Royal Paladin and Gear Chronicle, but not receiving any additional support that they could use till later on in this set. But it followed the same pattern with Royal Paladin and Gear Chronicle also just receiving 1 stride, and then giving Aquaforce and Great Nature and Narukami the additional stride in triple rare form, and then also one in a lower rarity form. We also saw the introduction of the hollow triggers, where you put into soul +5 and draw, Belinus and Gear Chronicle in the form of Heart Thumpworker receiving the first of the 2 triggers in this set, and also Narukami and also Great Nature receiving the grade 2 additional support, as well as their Unflipped Perfect Guards for Aquaforce, Narukami, and Great Nature in this set, as well as Neo Nectar, since this set support wasn't available in the trial decks like all of the clans. For the rare support, and also just a quick little reminder note, carrying on with the Legion Revival, Dragonic Kaiser Crimson for Dragonic Vermilion was introduced in this set as the Legion's Revival, not giving the triple rare quality as Dragonic Overlord the Axe, but still very, very nice that they kept up that trend in this set. For the rare support, the generic strides and the stride fodder was given in this set, as well as the starters you can use for your clans. Gear Chronicle also receiving additional Legion support, so you can go for a fully Legion deck after the release of this set. And then also receiving their own quintet wall as well, and also just more generic support for Aquaforce, getting an additional Legion as well, and also just additional support in the form of Resist. Great Nature also receiving another Legion, since I believe they only had 1 Legion at this point to use, so this one given back up to the promo one that they already had, along with the generic strides that they would also receive in this pack, as well as the stride fodder as well. Same treatment for Neo Nectar, giving the backup grade 3 to use, and also the stride fodder on their case. And for the Gray Elemental, we had Blizza released in this set for generic support, a little more stronger pressure late game wise for sure for all players. For more of the common support, more generic support for Royal Paladins, as well as the usual treatment for the newer clans introduced in this set, including Narukami receiving full trigger lineup in this set, including support for Eradicators and other smaller subclans. Gear Chronicle receiving additional common support as well in this set, and one additional draw trigger just to add up to the ratios they had with their clan already. Aquaforce, same treatment, except only 2 triggers in this set since they did have a trial deck released at the time for them as well. Great Nature receiving 4 new triggers in this set also, as well as the 8K and 10K treatment like these sets from set 1. And also Neo Nectar, just a smaller additional support since they already had a trial deck available at the time. And we also had our first common Cray Elemental released in this set, Rain Elemental tier, to finish off the G-BT02. And same treatment, Neo Nectar receiving 2 triggers in this set as well. And that's it for this binder. For the second one, we introduced the third set, which sadly I'm still missing 2 cards I have, and they are the Phantom Blaster Dragon, Generation Rare, and the Stride for Murakumo in this spot as well. I think those are the only cards I was missing, along with, I think, a couple commons on the next page for this set. But this is the G-BT03 set, which introduced support for Shadow Paladins, Gold Paladins, Link Joker, so a good amount of support received in these sets for sure, and also for Dark Irregulars also, which, just like Kagero, didn't receive a triple rare treatment. They got the double rare, just like the forms of Dragonic Blademaster. So in this set, we had 2 gen rares, which was a startup theme that they continued on, being in the form of Phantom Blaster Dragon, which was a break ride form of an older card, sharing the same name, just being a different effect, like they did with Dragonic Overlord in BT15, receiving one of the main strides for Messiahs, which was the new clan introduced with their trial deck in this set, in the form of Amnesty Messiah. And also Shadow Paladin receiving most of their support in the form of Claret Sword Dragon and Aurageyser Dragon in this set. Gold Paladins getting the same treatment with Spearcross Dragon and Gurgwit as well. Kagero receiving their additional triple rare support since they didn't have any support in G-BT02 in the form of Mustafa. And also Starvader support, or just generic support overall for the lock in the form of Nebula Big Crunch Dragon in this set for the triple rares. The only triple rare Dark Irregulars would receive is Abominable One Gilderais in the form of the Stride. That followed the trend like the other sets for Stride support, but their main grade 3, which was Cher Vampire, was in the form of a double rare in the set. But they also followed trend with some of the other cards, Kagero receiving the trigger for Put in Soul +5 draw in the form of Jeanette, and also the Unflip Perfect Guards for Shadow Paladin, Gold Paladin, Murakumo, and also Link Joker in this set as well as Dark Irregulars receiving the same Unflip type of Perfect Guard, and also giving support to Deleters, which were from a previous set, in the form of a new grade 3 for them to use. Murakumo also receiving a grade 3 in the double rare form in this set as well, giving the higher rarity support to some of the other clans. And that trend would continue with a lot of different other ones in future sets as well. For the rares, they were given the same type of treatment. Small rare support for the Shadow Paladins, following suit for Stride. Gold Paladins also receiving a rare Stride in this set as well. And also Stride Fodder, and just additional support for some of the old sets from Legion, including Liberators, which around this time we also received the legendary deck Ren Suzugamori, which would provide more additional support Stride-wise for Shadow Paladin, along with the Claret Sword support that was in this set already. For Kagero, they just received some additional guard restriction cards for rares in the form of Heroic Saga Dragon and Dragon Knight Imad. Also, Murakumo receiving their actual grade 2 support in the form of a rare and not a double rare in this set, but still had the generic Stride support as well in the form of a rare to use, as well as their Stride Fodder support also. Link Joker, not receiving a trial deck, would have their support in the form of rares as well. So the grade 3 backup to their Messiah alter ego in their trial deck, along with just more Stride Fodder support. Dark Irregulars receiving their grade 3 backup support, along with a new Legion to go with the only form of Legion they had at the time, which was a promo, along with the reprint of Flirtatious Succubus in this set, since I believe this card was a promo at the time and much more difficult for people to receive also. Cray Elementals also receiving their first rare in the form that was not a stride with Earth Elemental Poker. So just more generic support to combat some of the more difficult kind of cards out there, including ones that could just go up against the lock in the form of Poker, being able to unlock units. For commons, we received generic 10Ks and 8Ks, and as well as a limit break enabler for Shadow Paladins in this set, along with other generic support. Only 2 triggers in this set. This is, I believe, because of the fact that they also had the legendary deck out at the time, so more triggers available to them. But Gold Paladins getting a full amount of support in the same kind of form with 10Ks and 8Ks, and then just more generic support to assist with the superior call that the clan does, as well as the additional support in the form of the triggers, receiving 4 new triggers in this set as well, and Kagura receiving a new lineup of grade 3s through 1s as well. 2 cards missing. I believe these are Murakumo cards in this set, but they also received a limit break enabler as well as other generic support for their clan as well, and also receiving a trigger lineup in this set also. For Link Joker, they received 2 triggers in this set since they already had the trial earlier sets with the Legion, which is what I believe. They didn't have a trial deck out other than that, so that's why they only received the 2 triggers, with the Koji Ibuki trial deck being a thing, obviously. And then Dark Irregulars receiving same kind of treatment, also receiving a good amount of cards for a Mon in this set as well, with a grade 2, 1, and 0 to assist with that, and also a new critical trigger, along with a full new trigger lineup just for the more generic support. And Cray Elemental is also receiving 1 additional common form grade 1 in this set. But the last set we'll review in this video is G-BT04, Star Strike against the Soul Strike against the Supreme. This set introduced additional support for all the final clans that they showed in Season 1, and also additional support for Mega Colony as well. In this set, we had all 3 main character clans being the form of Royal Paladins, Gear Chronicles, and Neo Nectar, Genesis, and Angel Feather, also, and Mega Colony also receiving their first support in this set, and additional support for Shadow Paladins, taking up the Generation Rare and the Gear Chronicle spot for both the Generation Rares in this set. Angel Feather and Genesis receiving the same treatment as all the other sets in the previous packs, triple rare stride for both of them, and also their grade 3s, which were Gavrail and Fenrir in this set also. And they also gave us the first strides for Chrono, Dragon Next Stage, Alt Mile, and Asha. They're more, own self stride versions, if you want to call it that, in this set. Darkface also receiving triple rare treatment in this set for grade 3s, and receiving Stun Beetle as its stride triple rare form. Asha being on this page here. In this set, they actually didn't give us a Legion Revival like they did in set 3 with Magatsu Storm. They gave us more of a limit break support for Metatron in this set. It wasn't a Legion Revival. It more worked with just overall using Metatron and this card together for a more Metatron-based deck. We also received basically triggers for Shadow Paladin and Neo Nectar, since it was the main character's deck, as well as the main antagonist of Season 1. Also, Unflipped Perfect Guards for Genesis and Angel Feather, and Mega Colony also in this set as well. For the more generic support, they also received the Stride Fodder and the Rare Stride for their own clans, as well as additional Legions for Angel Feather in this set also, to work with the only promo ones they had. But the Legion Revival we did receive in this set went out to Maiden of Trailing Rose in the form of Maiden of Rambling Rose, so they continued the trend in this set, as well as the Limit Break set as well in this set. For more rares, just Quintet Wall was also given to the Angel Feather clan, also giving us what would be rare generic break stride support. So when you stride over the unit, you basically have the same skill as you would with the other triple rare versions we received. So very interesting that they started doing it in rare form as well, giving backup support also to Claret Sword in this set, and the rare generic support. So Shadow Paladins and Gear Chronicle receive this type of rare grade 3, where when you stride over it, you were still given a skill, which didn't really happen to any of the other grade 3s in previous sets that were rare. Mega Colony also receiving their second Legion card in this set, as well as generic support, doing the same as Murakumo, sorry about that, in their set as well, in the form of a rare. The Cray Elemental went to Heat Element Bois for the rare grade 2 in this set. They also received Maiden of Flower Screen, which was a promo at the time, remade into this set. For common support, Angel Feather receiving a good amount, including their Limit Break grade 1 as well. And also the same with the trigger lineup, receiving a good amount of criticals, and then one of each of the other triggers as well. Shadow Paladin receiving just more support also for the witches in this set, and then just an additional starter and grade 1 and 2 support. Genesis receiving a good amount, just like Angel Feather, with new trigger lineup, starters, limit break enablers, and also the 8K in this pack as well for the grade 1s. And then Gear Chronicle receiving one additional trigger and also just other generic support to assist with their clans. Mega Colony also receiving a good amount of triggers to support the new series and their lineup, as well as the Machining Yellow Jacket for the Limit Break grade 1 as well. And then to finish up the set, one more Cray Elemental in the form of Dark Elemental Doxic, and then just more generic support that Neonectar received, basically the same numbers as Gear Chronicle and Royal Paladin. So that is it for sets G-BT01 through G-BT04. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I really do like doing these collection videos. I hope you all do as well, just being a chance to see all the cards that were out for those sets released. And until next time, which will cover G-BT05 through BT08, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.